they were pretty much helped at the very start of that quarter when they went bang, bang, bang. They scored 3 goals in 3 minutes using just 7 disposals to get there. So it's really been their outside run of Sophie Conway and Orla O'Dwyer along the wings that has helped them get into this position. It means they're provisionally sitting in second at the moment. So it all depends on whether Hawthorn can defeat Richmond in the game coming up next. But at the moment, it is Brisbane with a high enough percentage to put themselves in second and secure a home final clinching. So we'll just wait for what happens the rest of the day. But Brisbane sitting in a very nice position at the moment, ahead by 47 points at three-quarter time against the Saints.
Thank you to Lauren Borden. Queensland in action, taking on New South Wales at Cricket Central. Robin Chipperfield is watching on. Angus Lovell and Ben McDermott have steered Queensland into a strong position here. They've put on 121 for the 4th wicket so far. Queensland is 3 for 269. Lovell on 84, his highest first-class score, made from 207 balls, and Ben McDermott with 75 so far off 123. Everything that Moses Enriquez, the New South Wales captain, has tried has not worked. There have been a couple of missed opportunities since lunch, both by Ollie Davies at slip, both Angus Lovell as well, dropped on 53 and 65 off the bowling of Hadley and Edwards. The lead is 30 already, and of course there's all of tomorrow and another 46 overs to go today for Queensland to really press home this advantage. The lead 31 now, with Queensland 3 for 270. Thank you very much to Robin Chipperfield at the Adelaide Oval at South Australia and Victoria. Zane Brojack bringing us the latest.
Yeah, SA is 3 for 97 clean sheet. That means they've got a lead of 172 over Victoria with 7 wickets remaining. Alex Carey has come out to the crease to join Jake Lehman. That was because Peter Siddle's got another one from outside the, from around the wicket. He was able to get a ball that came back from outside the off stump and trapped Connor McInerney in front. That was when the scoreline was on 3 for 94. So they've added 3 runs to this pair. But Connor McInerney was out for 39. And that was a 44-run partnership between him and Jake Lehman, who's 27 not out, Carey's 2 not out. South Australia 3 for 97, midway through the second session on day 3.
Thank you very much to Zane Bojack. Meanwhile, at Bellreeve Oval, it's Tasmania and Western Australia. Chris Robot.
Yes, a nice moment a short time ago. Hilton Cartwright notching up his 9th first-class ton and his 90th.
Every party and special fundraising event on Friday the 15th of November, at 7 p.m. Peninsula Room, Mornington Racecourse. It's about the Peninsula Home Hospice, but there is quite a story behind this. Fascinated with places like this and really fascinated with how they started. Joining me on the line is the CEO of Peninsula Home Hospice, Janet Phillips. Hi, Janet.
Hello, Grubby, how are you?
Yeah, good. And palliative care physician, Dr. Lizzie Gascoigne. Lizzie, good afternoon.
G'day, Grubby, how you going?
Yeah, good. Look, congratulations on the wonderful work you people do. But the story behind this wonderful place, Peninsula Home Hospice, Janet, how did it all start?
Yeah, look, an amazing story, really. So it started with someone whose husband suddenly became very unwell and had a terminal illness. And he was only 56 years old, and he happened to be the first Chief Judge of County Court, and that was Desmond Whelan. Yep. And so Carmel and all her friends rallied around. Some of them were nurses, some were counsellors that happened to be her friends, and they rallied around and cared for her at home. And one of the promises she made to her husband was that she would make sure that she would fight to set up a service that would provide palliative care in their own homes so that people could die at home with respect, dignity and good symptom management. And that's how it all started. So now we've grown over the years from a very tiny service run by volunteers to now government-funded, huge service. So we look after around 350 clients at any one time, or we call them clients, not patients. Yeah. And we go into their home, which is pretty empowering for people to be able to make that choice to stay at home rather than being in a hospital bed.
Oh, you're so right. Look, I've been to palliative care wards, and they're sensational and wonderful people. There's no doubt about that. But as the old saying goes, Janet, Lizzie, there's no place like home, surely.
Absolutely. And Lizzie, you might want to talk about this, because Lizzie, she's often out there visiting clients in her own home as well and dealing with families, aren't you, Lizzie?
I am, and it's lovely to see people comfortable in their own homes, in their own environment, enjoying their own furniture, family coming and going, their own gardens, cats and dogs. neighbours, you name it. Just
Music.
being comfortable. Music playing, their own photos up. It's just, you name it, they feel like they're in control in their own home.
So how often would you have a visit? I mean, this is a massive thing. I mean, you obviously, you know, you're surrounded by loved ones. I mean, you've been in palliative care. That means, for those who don't know, you've reached the end pretty much, and it might be a 2, 3, 4 week period. I mean, how long would the period go for?
Oh, look, it can be years sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we go in and out of people's lives.
Really?
With chronic illnesses.
Yeah.
So it's not always the very last final week. Sometimes it can be 12 months, it can be 6 months. On average, it's 3 months. And it depends. Sometimes it's just a day, and they're the ones they're late referrals, and it's almost a crisis situation, which is not ideal.
Yeah.
So we always promote people to refer early, not to be frightened of palliative care. The research tells us that people live a lot longer and have much higher quality of life if they have a palliative care service. And how many times, Lizzie, have we heard people say, I wish we'd got you in sooner.
Yeah.
We didn't realise this is what you do.
And Lizzie, you must establish, I mean, you're a professional certainly, but you must establish relationships with people, surely.
I do. I consider myself a bit of a facilitator. I support the organisation. I support our nurses who are on the road, and I do see patients when the nurses, or I feel they could do with a visit. It's mainly a nursing service, so they're the ones doing a lot of the hard work on the road. And I do see clients, but because we have so many on our books, it's fairly selective, and it's based on need.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful work. Now, understandingly, you're funded by a state grant for a start?
Correct. That's correct. But it doesn't cover everything, unfortunately.
No,
So
never
we
does.
do
Never
need
does.
that.
No. It's far too busy spending money on railways we don't really need. But look, we won't go into that because the funds will blow up, because we just think health is so important, and something like this is so important. Yeah, good on them for kicking in a bit. That's terrific. So fundraising, how do you fundraise for a situation like this?
So, well, fortunately this year we've been able to celebrate our 40th year of providing this quality service to our community. So we've had a few little events over the year, but we've got our big one, as you mentioned before, Grubby. So that's on the 15th of November, which happens to be my birthday as well, so I hope people will bring gifts.
Happy birthday for that, yeah.
You're in birthday surprise now.
It sounds like you're turning 21 again, so yeah.
Well, it could be. Yeah, I wish I was 40 actually.
Don't we all? Gee, I remember when 40 was old. But yeah, that's terrific. So the 15th of November, a big night at Mornington Racecourse.
So we've got Dr. Lizzie, who's actually leading a jazz band called Kissing Harriet, so she's playing on the night.
Know it.
And we've got renowned comedian Andrew McClelland, who is going to be our DJ. He's hilarious.
Right.
And he's been DJ for Cher and Robbie Williams, so he's internationally known, so he'll be a real hoot. And probably our biggest surprise is we've got a beautiful diamond ring worth over $4,000 that's going to be raffled on the night. So,
don't mind that.
Options. You should come, Grubby.
I don't mind the sound of that. I don't mind the sound of it. I can come along. If I win that raffle, I'll say, look what I bought for you. It's a diamond ring. It's a diamond ring after all. Look, that just sounds fantastic. So what does the money go towards? They tell me you need more syringe drivers. What are they?
Yes. So they're a battery-operated pump that run over 24 hours. So when people are moving into those final days and they're not able to swallow oral medication, they then have a little tiny needle that's popped in that stays in, and the nurses come and fill the syringe. It's battery-operated, and it just allows them to have medication in a measured, even way over 24 hours, and the nurses come back the next day and refill it, and they might increase the medication if they need more.
Okay, and obviously you need money for overnight nursing care, which it does...
Not cheap.
Yeah, it costs. That's a big thing.
Yeah, and also, we've had... So we're dealing with all age groups. So if you've got a young couple where the husband might have to take time off work to care for his wife, they're financially really struggling. So we use any fundraising that we would use that to pay for their medications, for example, or for utility bills. So we like to be able to help them out. People often forget about the huge financial stress
That's great.
that happens when someone's seriously ill.
Look, the event's a beauty. Ticketed price, yes, $110 per head, all inclusive for drinks, substantial cocktail, food, music, entertainment, the Diamond Ring. I love that. It's a party.
Yep.
Great opportunity to celebrate 40 years, and congratulations to those people that started in the very beginning of a necessary but wonderful service, palliative care at home. I mean, you are what you say you are, and I think that's to be congratulated. A really good thing to get behind, and congratulations on 40 years Peninsula Home Hospice. I mean, we're going to face it one day, and I know myself, I'd rather face it at home, yes, with people I love, yes, with my surroundings, but some wonderful professionals looking in on me at the same time. Good for you. You do a great job.
Thanks so much, Grubby. Thanks, Grubby.
Good talking to you. Dr. Lizzie Gascoigne and CEO of Peninsula Home Hospice, Janet Phillips. Wonderful people that they are in our society, no doubt. 133693. Have you got an event coming up you'd like to give a plug to? Go on, why don't you? Go on. Have you got something on? A bit of a fete? Bit of a something going on? Got a few minutes? Give us a ring. 133693. I'll talk to you next.
The Indigenous Round is back for the 2024 NAB AFLW season, celebrating Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander football trailblazers. Tickets are just $15 and under 18.
Two of the really traditional lead-ins. So tick there, Zach Burton comes into Melbourne to take the ride. So, you know, not as much for Valiant King and Manzoy as the other two, but I think in Buckaroo, Kovalika and Land Legend, there is a legitimate chance that those three could run top three.
I do agree with that. Assessment. And the races that you just all mentioned, the form has been frank with Chow Wolf and Tom Kitten racing well yesterday, so they've certainly been racing very, very good competitive races. It's just hard to get all of them into like your top five, isn't it?
Yeah, and we saw Waller pick up two of the three Group 1s yesterday, and he got so close with Solcombe last year. Very Elegant's his only cup winner at this stage, and I say only at this stage because he just takes all before him. I think this is Chris Waller's strongest hand ever in the Melbourne Cup.
I think if I was picking out of Land Legend and Kovalika, I'd pick Land Legend. Zach Burton, I think, came in from Hong Kong, came and rode in the Caulfield Cup and takes the ride again into the Melbourne Cup. And I don't think that Zach would want to get as far back as he did in the Caulfield Cup. So I think he's probably learned from that and might ride a little bit more, I wouldn't say positive, but probably a little bit close to them, not giving it such a big task at the finishing.
Some of the other famous names, Gabe Waterhouse and Adrian Bott, have Just Fine for Jai McNeil. We touched about Zardosi for James Cummings, of course, trying to follow in the footsteps of his grandfather Bart, and ran around on Saturday with the ambition of caught our eye Claire, and of course featuring in Tuesday's Melbourne Cup.
Only got beaten 2.5 lengths in the Empire Rose. Really good run, flashing home. Again, it's hard to have all these horses in top five. Just Fine's interesting. Jai McNeil, I think the Gay Waterhouse, Adrian Bott trained horses always like to go forward. Barrier 13 can sometimes be a lucky gate. Funnily enough, in our industry, 13 can be quite lucky. And I think it might be the leader, and Jai McNeil famously led all the way in Twilight Payment in 2020. So if you like horses that are trained by Gay, can go forward and make their own luck, it's probably one to include in your model pool.
Claire Lindop, Quentin Hull and Matt Clinch with you for Summer Grandstand on ABC Sport. The morning of Melbourne Cup, what's it like, Claire? How do you try and lead into the day? And depending on what your weight is, how's the nerves, and when does sort of the anticipation start to build?
Well, most of these jockeys will actually go to track work and get rides to a couple of gallops, because they've still got Oaks Day on Thursday and Finals Day on Saturday. So it's interesting. Sometimes it's like, you know, as though you're concentrating on your big day, Melbourne Cup day, you've still got other little horses that you're working on and keeping up with other connections. Again, get to the track early, get prepared. It's a big day. Just put the focus on.
Superstitions?
I've always tried to avoid superstitions. I did note that although Jamie Carr was doing the tour with the Melbourne Cup trophy, she never once handled the Melbourne Cup trophy. So I guess if there's a superstition there, it's that one.
I know there are a few people that whenever the horse is quoted on the front page of the paper, that's a bad omen, that you don't want to be front page before you've got the trophy. All right, are we ready to give our top 3, top 5? How have you settled, Claire?
Oh, it's not changing it. It's a whole discussion. Look, I am going with One Smooth Operator. I just really love the Geelong Cup win of it, and I think it's just the one at odds.
I've got Vauban in for second. One thing that Willie Mullins did say last year, he didn't feel like Vauban liked the hot weather. We had that 30-degree day last year for Melbourne Cup Day, so I think that was another factor perhaps in Vauban's favour. The conditions this year may be better suited. Akita Sushi in for third. I was umming and ahhing. I've got Just Fine in for fourth, in front of Land Legend, but in my top 5. And if I was squeezing another one, it'd be Zardozi.
This is at odds, but I just think ever since its Queensland Derby win, hasn't won since, Kovalica has promised to win a race when it's long enough and when there's space. And the Melbourne Cup is long enough and Flemington has space. So hardened profile off the back of basically a fitness sharpener in the Cox plate. That's how good this horse is. It uses the Cox plate as its prep. So I'm going on faith that there's going to be pace and that Kovalica can use the expanses of Flemington to run past them. And Pip, Craig Williams is one smooth operator, the best of the internationals. Buckaroo will do a lot of work and perhaps not run out the 3,200, but I've got Buckaroo going 1 and 3 for Waller, and then the others in the top 5. Zardozi, very impressed with the Classic Cummings lead in with the Metropolitan into the Caulfield Cup, into the Saturday Sharpener yesterday. So Zardozi and Land Legend are the other 2 that I like in my top 5. But I'm going for 1 at odds, Kovalica.
Yep, you've done better than me. I think Willie Mullins will get redemption. I've got Vauban on top from one smooth operator. Buckaroo in third, and I'm hoping the map comes splashing home sentimentally and finishes in the top 4 or 5. That would be a good result for everyone, I think.
I agree with that too. Go the map.
And this is the intrigue of this race, because there are so many different form lines. It is so hard. That's why we're trying to make sense of it all for you, and then someone gets lucky in a sweep, or someone likes the colours, or someone's like, oh yeah, I saw the name Cummings, so I had $1 each way. Those are the types of things that happen, aren't they?
And for me, that's why it is Australia's greatest race. It's so unpredictable, so many storylines. The handicap gives the lightweights a sneaky chance. Even Kieran Rana saying St George is a little sleeping lion. You never know what it's going to produce in the day, and that's what makes it such a great race.
Had the chance to chat Chris Waller. He said he's not really one to give jockey sort of riding instructions. How often was that the case when you rode in a Melbourne Cup, or was Bart